What is up everyone, and welcome to some more F1 23 My Team career mode, and we're here for round number 7 of season 6 of our Jaguar racing career, and it is time for one of my favourite moments on the Formula 1 calendar at this point. It is of course the Monaco Grand Prix. Now you may hear me say that and go, wow, really, this is one of your favourite tracks on the calendar? And it's not so much that I enjoy driving around here in the sense that I like the track. It's still as much of a ball ache for me as it is for most people, and certainly I find it a bit of a headache and very stressful trying to keep it out the walls. But what I do like about this track is that I've developed quite a reputation for getting some of my best results of the season here. And given that we're doing pretty well in the championship already, we've had 2 wins so far this season. We're the only driver to win 2 races so far this season, currently sitting 32 points off the top of the table, only behind Russell and Leclerc. I think that we have a fairly good chance of closing that gap even further here today in Monaco, and that's why I like it so much. Now, you might remember last time out in Imola, if you watched the last video, we started 4th in that race, and we took advantage of the wet weather and a good strategy on our behalf as well. We managed to come through to win that Grand Prix, and that closed the gap to Leclerc at the top of the table quite significantly actually, because he ended up having a mechanical failure there. So he's going to have a big point to prove here, not only because he had that mechanical failure in the last race, but of course also because it is his home race, the Monaco Grand Prix. Monegasque driver is Charles Leclerc, of course, and to my knowledge, in this career mode, he's yet to win a race at his home Grand Prix. I could be wrong about that, but as far as I remember, there have been no wins for Charles Leclerc here so far. I think I've won it on 2 different occasions. I believe Albon won it once, if I'm not mistaken, as well, and then I don't remember what happened in the first couple of seasons of this career mode, because that was quite a long time ago now. And yeah, obviously my memory not absolutely fantastic. So yeah, we will see what unfolds this race weekend. But Charles Leclerc, I'm sure, you know, he's going to want to re-establish a strong lead on the championship, and well, practice didn't go so well for us in that regard, neither of us in the top 14. However, I didn't do a soft compound tyre run. I don't know about Charles Leclerc, but for me personally, yeah, I didn't run on the softs, didn't do a quali pace run, and my medium pace actually was pretty decent. So yeah, still optimistic about our chances in qualifying. I feel like we have to aim for pole position here. Like I said, have lots of pace around this track, and I'm optimistic about my chances of contending for pole position, and then hopefully using the advantage that you get, track position of course being king here in Monaco. And if we can get pole position, then I'm confident we'll be able to win the race, barring any strategy mishaps or anything like that. But as it stands at the moment, on a fresh set of soft compound tyres for our first run in Q1, it's a 1:10.8. It's not the fastest lap of the session so far, but it was our first lap that we've done on the soft compound tyres all weekend, so I'm not too concerned about the fact that we didn't go ultimately fastest. We would have been through on that run regardless. A 1:10.8 was good enough to see us through in P13. However, I went out on the soft compound tyres again, another fresh set, and we managed to improve by 0.4 to put us P3. So pretty good result there, and hopefully we can continue getting better over the course of the next couple of qualifying sessions. Leclerc finishing 4th there, as Enzo Fittipaldi actually goes fastest there, the Brazilian driver, with a 1:10.2, a very strong result from him. And well, not too many shocks here in the elimination zone, maybe Gasly being last, a little bit surprising. Other than that, De Vries, Stroll, Doohan, Joe eliminated, and Deruvala still really yet to come good in this championship in that Ferrari. His teammate Max Verstappen has won a race so far this season. I have to say, with the form that Jehan Deruvala has been showing so far, you wouldn't bet on him to win a race before the end of the season. In fact, I'm still banking on, I think that he's going to get the sack halfway through the season, and Haas and Ferrari are going to do a driver swap between him and Jack Doohan, who is a proven race winner and podium finisher at this point in this career. So it was a 1:10.6 on a used set of soft compound tyres this time, and clearly my pace is ramping up quite dramatically, because you can see here I'm 7/10 ahead over the first 2 sectors, 2 purple sectors as the lap goes on. I definitely do need some good improvement here though, because you can see that I am only P11, so we do need to improve. We can't rest on our laurels here. I didn't have the greatest sector 3 in the world, but I think we'll be okay. It's a 1:09.8. It wasn't a purple final sector, but it was P1 nonetheless, and we will be making it through to Q3 very comfortably. and hopefully we'll be able to finish in a very similar position to how we did in Q2 when we get through to Q3. Kevin Magnussen and Dennis Hauger, two of my former teammates, rounding out the top 3 there. And not only that, but also Fittipaldi, another one of my former teammates, making it through. Leclerc in P7, my current teammate, pretty good from him. And it's Verstappen, Pourchaire, Lawson, Sargent, Tsunoda and Perez who get knocked out there in Q2. So 2 of our race winners so far this season in Verstappen and Perez have both been knocked out of the session and will be taking no further part in qualifying. So you'd have to say that this is a great opportunity for myself and Leclerc to try and extend our advantage in the championship, especially in the Constructors' Championship, but also potentially in the Drivers as well. George Russell, of course, the other major championship protagonist in the early part of this season, has made it through here to Q3, so we will see what kind of pace he can show over this qualifying session. A 1:10.1 on used soft compound tyres had me pretty optimistic that we would be able to bag pole position here. However, we are going to have to improve because Piastri has gone faster than me in the second flying lap of this qualifying session. We're on a fresh set of soft compound tyres this time, improving by about 4 tenths. It was 5 or 6 tenths earlier, but I lost a bit of time. It's a 109.6 overall, and that is good enough to get pole position, and we will be starting from the front of the grid come race day tomorrow.
With qualifying finished, it's time to remind ourselves of our top 3: Robinson, Oscar Piastri and Charles Leclerc. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
Well, track position is king, and we've got it. Charles Leclerc starting from P3 as well. We have a really good chance for a double podium. And even better news, George Russell is starting all the way down in P10. So it will be the fringes of the points at best, you would have to imagine, for the Red Bull driver. And we have a very good chance to massively extend our lead in the Drivers' and Constructors' Championship this time. And hopefully we will be able to do just that as we get into the Monaco Grand Prix.
A proper road race, and in the true meaning of the word. That's how Mr. Monaco, the late great Graham Hill, once described this iconic event. The cars we drive have come a long way in the intervening half-century, but we still race on those same public roads beside the Mediterranean. There is no victory more coveted than that of the Monaco Grand Prix. The astonishing Circuit de Monaco is, for all intents and purposes, virtually unchanged since its inaugural race back in 1929. The faster cars of today ensure the 19 corners past the casino and along the seafront remain as thrilling as ever. A 2.1-mile lap here takes us around an entire country, yet never more than a few inches away from the race-ending barriers. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Robinson lines up on pole position, and Oscar Piastri completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Magnussen, Albon, Ocon, Fittipaldi, Norris, Hauger, Russell, Verstappen, Teo Pourchaire, Liam Lawson, Sargent, Tsunoda, Perez, Deruvala, Joe, Doohan, Stroll, De Vries, and Pierre Gasly picks up the final grid slot today. And now it's time to head down to the track. Anthony Davidson is here once again for today's Grand Prix. Let's have a chat about Williams. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
OK, we've got that relief of having points on the board finally, so let's keep that form up and get another top 10 finish today, please.
You'd have to say that a top 10 finish is a pretty low target given where we're starting, especially at the Monaco Grand Prix. I think if they were saying anything other than you're going for the win today, mate, I would be a little bit surprised. So, yeah, hopefully we'll be able to do exactly that. I have won here before from pole position. I believe last season I got pole position here and was able to convert that into the win. And that was what started a bit of a championship comeback for me, which resulted in me winning the championship, of course. If you've not watched this previous season, there is a recap video on my channel, which you can go and check out as well. I definitely would recommend it to get up to speed with everything that happened in the previous season. And yeah, obviously, like I said, this was the race that started the championship comeback. I am not in as dire of a position as I was in last season. We've had a string of decent results since Shanghai, and hopefully we'll be able to continue that run of form here in the Monaco Grand Prix as we get ready to go, as the lights come on. and the lights go out, and we've had a good getaway compared to Oscar Piastri, and we are going to be leading the Monaco Grand Prix quite nicely, and it's going to be a 1-2 for Jaguar Racing as Charles Leclerc is able to overtake Oscar Piastri off the line at his home race. And now you would have to imagine that I am going to be coming under all the pressure in the world from my teammate who is chasing after that coveted home race victory. I know for me, I would have done absolutely anything, and did do absolutely anything, to win at Silverstone last season, and I pushed very, very hard and was maybe a little bit cheeky with my driving on a couple of occasions. Charles Leclerc here can't be too cheeky, because if he is, he will put me in a wall, but I don't think that's going to stop him from you know, pulling out every trick in the book to ensure that he has a chance to overtake and get that win at his home race here in Monaco. So we will see what happens regarding that. But for the moment, actually, the pace is not too good from Charles Leclerc. He's over a second behind me already, and falling out of that DRS range. DRS is going to be a necessity for him to get past me, as this is basically the only spot where overtaking is really possible on this track on the run to Saint-Devote, and try and dive up the inside. That's basically the only way that you can do it. Some people do try to make an overtake at the top of the hill as well, but I've not really seen that happen too much. I do remember that there was one year, I believe it was 2016, it was Gutierrez in the wet managed to pull off a move around the outside of that, and that was a very impressive overtake for a driver who I always felt was a little bit underrated perhaps. But whether we'll see anything like that here in the Monaco Grand Prix today, I'd say is unlikely, and if there is anyone that's going to be trying to go for a move like that, it will probably be myself. So yeah, we're going to be coming under a bit of pressure from Charles Leclerc now, make our way onto lap 12, and we have a virtual safety car, I believe, because one of the Alpines, it looks like Pierre Gasly, has had a bit of a moment there, managed to keep it going, but I think that maybe he's got some damage and will need a front wing change or something like that. We'll see if he does come into the pits as this virtual safety car ends, and indeed you can see that, yeah, he is coming in. If you look at the mini-map, Pierre Gasly coming into the pit lane to change that front wing, and we've gone green again on the virtual safety car. So I didn't have the best restart there actually. We didn't have a very low delta. We were about a second over the delta, so yeah, Charles Leclerc as a result was able to close us down a little bit, and we're coming under a little bit of pressure from him, but we've yet to really be attacked by him. Pierre Gasly, race going from bad to worse. Initially it was just he had to pit, a safety car would have brought him back into the fold, but unfortunately he will be retiring from the race instead. So yeah, tough race for the French driver, but a decent race for us so far as we get to the pit stop phase, pitting on lap 17, trying to make sure that I don't get undercut, because that would basically be race over for me if I did get undercut. And yeah, we're coming into the pit lane, putting on a set of hard compound tyres to the end of the race. You would imagine that soft compound runners are going to be coming in around this time as well, and indeed you can see there are a few people coming in, including Lawson, Perez, and one of the Ferraris, not sure which one, but yeah, one of them coming in at the end of this lap. And as you make our way towards the end of lap 19 now, you can see that Zhou Guanyu is holding us up quite nicely. I tried to go for some overtakes on him earlier on, but I couldn't find it until we got to Rascasse, and then I dived it up the inside of him. A very audacious move. In fact, I believe that in Formula 2, Liam Lawson actually went for a move a little bit like that on none other than Jahan Daruvala, and I believe Daruvala was not very happy about it, claiming that he'd been, you know, muscled out the way or something, but it was just hard racing from Liam Lawson, a very, very impressive overtake from the New Zealander, and just unfortunate for Daruvala that he was on the receiving end of some very, very skilled driving. As we make our way now onto lap 21, you can see that was Leclerc coming out the pits that we almost crashed into on the pit exit, and we make our way back into what will be net P1. Albon yet to pit, but he will be coming in soon. 2.5 seconds ahead of Leclerc, 3 seconds ahead of Piastri, and it's looking like it's going to be a very comfortable race for us. It'll be 3 and 4 for Haas as things stand as well. Ocon in P5, it's a good result for him. Meanwhile, the Ferraris are not doing particularly well, and neither are the Red Bulls, so our sort of closest rivals in terms of performance, not having the race that they would really want to be having. However, I think that for us, this is about as good a result as we could have hoped for, really. Our 1-2 as things stand as we make our way through lap 26. And not only is it a 1-2, but also, like I said, our closest rivals, I think, are scoring very minimal points at the moment. I believe George Russell is still in 10th. I'm just trying to have a look on the map. So that's one of the Williams in 6th, there's Mercedes in 7th, another Williams in 8th, and then the Red Bulls are in 9th and 10th. So, yeah, scoring 3 points to what will be 33 for us as things stand. I don't know who has fastest lap. If they have fastest lap, then obviously that'll be another point. As Charles Leclerc is going for a move up the inside and almost manages to actually pull off the overtake. I went a little bit wide at the top of the hill there, and that almost cost me the position, which would have been absolutely devastating. You know, I've been leading this race for 31 laps effectively at this point. I know obviously I pitted early and gave up the lead on track, but I've been in the net lead of the race for the entire Grand Prix distance, and I very nearly lost out to my teammate at his home race. You know, I told you, if ever he smelled an opportunity to go for the lead of the race, he was obviously going to take it. And we make our way now onto lap 35, driving through lap 35, and I'm pretty sure at this point I've got this in the bag. I don't think there's going to be too much that can stop us from winning this race now, other than just you know, some late mechanical failure or some kind of late drama that causes me to lose. But I think it should be okay, hopefully. Looks like it will be the McLarens coming home in 3 and 4 as well. So yeah, a good race for us and a good race for them as well, as they try and sort of recover some ground in this championship that they've not got off to the best start in, quite frankly. Piastri and Magnussen both not having quite the season that I think the team would have expected them to have. But for us, I think we are definitely having a very good season at the moment. Obviously, the amount of points that we could have closed up to Charles Leclerc is nowhere near as many as it could have been if he'd not had such a good result here. We're only going to be closing him down by 7 points. Still another 25 to go after this race, which means, you know, if I win another race and he doesn't finish in it, much like Imola, then we'll be right on his tail. But as things stand, it's going to take at least, probably I would say, 4 races to catch Charles Leclerc in the championship still. But for now, we're going to deny him a home race win. We're going to win the Monaco Grand Prix as we cross the line there. And yeah, very happy with that. We make it 3 wins this season, including 2 in a row, which is absolutely brilliant. And yeah, hopefully we can just keep this tremendous run of form that we seem to have hit since Shanghai going for many more races to come.
A nearly flawless performance here then, and a commanding victory. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
A show-stopping performance from the 3 drivers approaching the podium right now. It's been an interesting Grand Prix, that's for sure.
Well, an interesting Grand Prix, maybe not, quite frankly, because I did just basically lead from lights to flag. However, you know, I'm pretty happy with the result. It's a 1-2 for the team, which is going to serve us very well in the Constructors' Championship. Piastri obviously coming home in 3rd. Before this season, we had no 1-2s in Formula 1, and this season we've already had 2 in the first 7 races. As a team, we've won 4 of the first 7 races as well, including 3 wins for myself. And given that I've won 3 races, it's very surprising that I'm only still in P3 in the Drivers' Championship.
So let's have a look then at the drivers' standings. Charles Leclerc, currently leading the championship standings, extends his lead even further with this result. Some amazing talent out there on track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
I have to give it to Robinson.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. The owner-drivers team moved to the top of the table. There was also a strong showing from the McLaren team today as they make their way up the standings. Been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula 1 action. Can't wait to see what's next.
Well, we do have a very strong lead in the Constructors' standings now, 45 points. And we've managed to close that gap to Charles Leclerc to just 25 points now. So we are in range of moving into the lead of the Drivers' Championship. But, you know, obviously I don't want to dominate it. I'd like there to be a bit of a fight here for the championship if I can. You know, we've currently hit a run of some very strong races for us. And I'm hoping that we will be able to be competitive moving forward as well. You know, this obviously was a very strong part of the season for me last year, but we're only 6 points behind George Russell now, so we have a very good chance of overtaking him in the next race if we have a strong one and he doesn't. It's the Spanish Grand Prix up next, which is a race that, you know, is a bit of a 50-50 for me. Sometimes it goes well, sometimes it goes not so well, so we will see how that unfolds when we get there. But yeah, I think hopefully within a race or two, you know, at most a race or two, we should be able to hopefully be 1-2 in the Drivers' Championship, which would be, I think, the first time as a team that we've ever had both drivers in the top 2 spots in the championship, which, you know, I'd be over the moon with, because it certainly means that we'll be on course to win the Constructors' Championship as long as things stay that way. I hope Charles Leclerc can continue the form that he showed at the beginning of this season. In every race that he's finished this season, he's finished on the podium. So yeah, that is quite a remarkable statistic. You know, 6 races he's finished, because he obviously had that DNF in Imola, and 6 races he's finished on the podium. A lot better than me. I've only had 3 podiums so far this season, and they've all been wins, interestingly enough. So I'm sure that will probably change as the season goes on. I don't envision myself either win or bust as it's been so far for me. Not strictly speaking true, because I did score points in Baku, of course. But yeah, 3 of my 4 points finishes this season have all been wins. So yeah, we clearly have some kind of thing going on where it is win or bust for us. And well, you may remember that I dropped the difficulty down a few races ago because I was struggling quite a lot, and I'm getting to the point where I'm feeling a bit more comfortable now, and I'm ready to bump it back up again. So don't be surprised if in time for the Spanish Grand Prix I've bumped it back up a few points or so. You can see that we are in our second rivalry with George Russell this season, having lost the first one, and things are going a lot better for us after that first race, as we outscore him by many points. But yeah, like I said, next race is the Spanish Grand Prix. If I'm not mistaken, we got P2 there last season. We were chasing down for the win, but no matter how hard I tried, we just couldn't quite get close enough to get it. So I'm hoping this season maybe we'll be able to go one better and win there. However, I don't want to absolutely run away with this championship, so it would be nice to have a little bit of competition as well, and we will see how the Spanish Grand Prix unfolds when we get to it. Hopefully we'll have another strong performance all round for the team on both mine and Charles' side of the garage. But that is going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed, please make sure you like and subscribe, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.